So I don't intend this to be a gaming channel or even like a Resident Evil channel. I know I picked that profile picture, but I just really had to say something about Resident Evil 4, man. Like that game really came out, like when that game came out, like I'd say like a lot of people my age, kind of late 20s around the time it came out, there really had been a fall off. If you weren't into like online gaming, which a lot of people aren't unless you're about that life. I know a lot of people are, but there was really kind of fucking nothing for you in video games for a long time. Like I really can't remember the last game I played that was really good. And then when that came out, it was like it was written in fate because I got a demo of it. And I don't know if that was like a marketing push for that game or not, but like the last demos I had played of a game were the ones that would come in the little CDs you'd get. I can't even remember where you got those CDs, but I think they'd come with other video games or something. But it was around like the turn of the year 2000, so like very far back. And the demos were always great, like, but I'm not even sure if that was just a thing for Resident Evil 4 or not. But man, that the demo, perfect introduction with the scene of the setting, and you come into the village, and I mean, I realized it was something special. I was around the right age, probably a bit young. I would have been 10, around 10 when it came out in 2004, the OG one. So those games that was really permeating the atmosphere back then and for years after, like it always looked sick if you'd see a picture of it in a magazine. You'd always see the lads with the chainsaws and you'd see Leon looking real cool, kind of over the shoulder gun down. And I remember seeing a clip back then of him like shooting one of the knees out on one of the monsters and the monster like falling to its knee. And I mean, that even as a kid, you could tell this shit was next level because they hadn't really done anything like that for like, depending on where you hit the person, it affected how they fell. Like little things like that are often really under heralded in video games. It's like the critics always miss the little thing about a game that makes it good. Like GTA 4 is getting a very much deserved revitalization in terms of people's opinion of it in recent years. Now, I've always been a huge GTA 4 acolyte. Like, GTA 5 was straight away a letdown to me when I played it. Great game, iconic game, GTA 5. I'm not hating on it. I know a lot of people have had a lot of fun, especially with the online and whatever on it. I mean, it's great. I have friends that are like 4 fucking games consoles generations deep into GTA 5. One of my mates, I was laughing at him, like, you are like old money in GTA 5. He has cars, as far as I can understand, you get from like a DLC or whatever in 2016 that you haven't been able to buy in like 10 years. Maybe I've made that up, but it's always been funny to me. I've gone with it. But like, back to the point, GTA 4, something about the physics, again, it didn't necessarily break a mold, but the way bodies interact with the bullets, the sound of the gun, the way a car impact occurred, the damage that happened to the car, that made that game supremely playable and replayable. You can log into that today. You're not finding better shooting mechanics of any game since it. And this is 18 years later now. And Resident Evil 4 really nailed that in terms of the shooting and the fighting mechanics, it seems to me. But I'd never played it. And then when I got to this Resident Evil 4, with all that said, the remake, I was stunned by just it's one of those games, it's the sum of all its little parts and then more. It doesn't necessarily do anything that like is particularly special or noteworthy, particularly anymore, other than the fact that it is just so perfectly polished. You can replay that game and there's something new every time. The thing works as this perfect Rubik's Cube of a game. And that village fight, man, when I was like stumbling around, just enough ammunition. And like I hadn't played games in ages at this point, and it'd be a struggle to enjoy a fucking game. But I remember, and like the cinematics of the guy with the chainsaw, the shooting, the guns, the way you can kind of run up the stairs and you get the shotgun, and how much it immediately manages to have you right on the edge of your seat, where you're always like a little bit, especially when you're first starting to play, you're almost always a little bit nearly dead, but you're in that, what's known as that zone of proximal development, where it's like pushing you just enough that it's difficult, but not like too much beyond your ability that it gets fucking bad. And no matter how good you get at the game, it's kind of a little bit like that, it seems. And I just about survived it, and then the bell goes off and the demo ends, and I was thinking, this is fucking really fun, and I definitely am going to buy this when it comes out, and I did. And the thing was just like an experience. Like it's like an exercise in maximalism, where and people who play this know what I'm talking about. But it really, and the Japanese do this really well, where it's like they will totally just throw everything at the wall. They will steal concepts from wherever they want. They don't try to be over subtle or think about it too much or fuss too much. They'll throw it all in, and it's just this beautiful, I want to say beautiful, unfurling mess, but it's not. It's not a mess. It's fucking exquisite. I mean, like the time you spend around the village, the various areas, the fact you kind of retread all steps, the boss, the lake, the kind of fishing place you go to, the big fish on the lake, all the little tricks, and then you move from there. You have your fight with your man, the big guy. Then you go into the fucking castle, which is like the whole new set of enemies. It's like multiple games in one. And you feel like you've fucking been at it forever by the time you get to the castle. And you'd read online then, that's only the second location. There's another full one after that. And it's like, Jesus. And then the island, which is my least favourite part of the game, the island, but it's still sick. It's just like, man, that game is just, it's a work of art from start to finish. And what they've done well, and again, like I don't have all the terms. I'm seeing a lot of YouTube videos talking about AAA games and online games, and I don't know why. I don't know what AAA game. I should probably research this anyway. It's not what this channel is about. It's not about packaging information for you. But man, I get what they're saying, those videos, because it was like an act of reactionary rebellion, Resident Evil 4, in an online gaming world, because it was like this linear pat story where every little inch within it was sanded to perfection. They had thought of everything the player could do within this linear path and gave a perfect, beautiful response to it. Like, now, look, other games do have interactions with, say, a cutscene, but like I remember, and anyone who's played it will know this, you're in the castle part and there's like a bridge, I think, that can be pulled on you. You go over the bridge and a little cutscene starts, and a fella comes out of the hallway to the right, pulls a lever, you fall down. Cool cutscene. But that happened to me and I died. And I didn't even look it up on YouTube or anything. I just thought, this game is so tidily made. I bet if I fucking threw a grenade where your man is going to appear, that'll do something in the cutscene. And lo and behold, it does, and the bridge doesn't come down. And it's like, that is not advertised. It's just something that's tucked away in the game. Fucking exquisite, man. And it taps into this beauty you get in games, particularly older games, that has been hugely lost, where it's like the game is basically perhaps somewhat limited in scope, in the sense it's not trying to be this huge sprawling thing that is everything. The developers want you to go down certain paths in it because it's, they want to design within those paths. Like a single player game, I guess, but I'm thinking even something more sandboxy, like maybe GTA 4 or the OG, in my opinion, sandbox game, Spider-Man 2, the movie game, or the game based on the movie from 2004. That game doesn't get enough credit for how mind-blowing an experience it was either. But like, to my point, like that Spider-Man game is an example of what I've been talking about in this video, which is that it was like, it had its inbuilt set of physics and reactions, and then it was up to you, the player, within that boundary, to play around with that, and you could kind of do whatever you wanted within it. And through that restriction, a lot more creativity happened. Like, that game was old, but if you jumped off the Empire State Building, got into the really fast fall where it blurred around you, and then you hit for a swing, the physics, the momentum of your fall in its own clunky way translated perfectly to the swing. And I'm like, more often than not, you just end up, it was maybe hard to play for some people because you'd probably bang into a building or hit off the ground or swing on a building and bump up across the edge a bit, and you'd fucking, it wouldn't look great. But you could fucking hit the swing and go real fast, and then you'd be powering down the avenue at Spider-Man full speed ahead, and that was incredible. Versus, you look at, and I think this was a really good game too, with the 2018 Spider-Man game, the one where they made the terrible decision to redo Peter's character model in like the newer gen version. But the OG one would be definitely my favorite character model for Peter. Way more Catholic Italian looking, which is what he's meant to look like. But anyway, The remake one had a real waspish face. No harm, he looked really good in the remake, but you know, that wasn't the Peter I was vibing with in the OG one. But, you know, that game was a great game, don't get me wrong, but the swinging, which is a huge part of Spider-Man games, I don't know the technical term for this, but the way it plays is nearly like you hit a button and a little mini animation kicks off, you know, and it looks beautiful and cinematic, but you don't feel in control of it because you're just basically selecting a button and a little animation goes. It doesn't feel like you're interacting with physics of the world, or what physics are there seem manipulative and somewhat restrictive. Like you can do the free fall drop in that game, which is feels great, and he's going really, really fast. But then you hit to shoot a web, and unlike the 2004 one, where it actually felt like the momentum translated into speed in the web, you hit the web, and it's like all your speed is gone, and it just enters a swinging animation. And it's shockingly, you know, bad in that sense. And so many modern games are like that, where they put attention onto the wrong things, I guess, and the playability goes down. But like, you know, the Resident Evil 4 remake understood what it was preserving in that about that first game. You know, the crazy, beautiful plot, amazing main character, and the absolute polished to perfection, perfected, rounded out gameplay. And I'm playing 9 at the moment, and look, I got to give love to the series, and I'm having fun with 9. I think it's far away from the quality of Resident Evil 4 remake, or Resident Evil 4 would be what I would say, but I'm not hating it. I'm glad it exists, and I hope they keep going with it. But yeah, what a series of games, or what a game rather, Resident Evil 4 and the remake, and I just want to give some respect to it. So thank you for bearing with me. I'll be back. And remember, it's not a gaming channel. It's not a gaming channel. So bear with me.